We are watching Hannah's breaststroke below the water, commentary by Coach Chris. Again, we're going to watch the first play through just full speed. And you can really see she does a really good job of just keeping that momentum forward. You don't see the dolphin diving that most kids her age are doing. So I really like that. And her extension is really good. Again, she's getting in a good position, getting the elbows up to the surface, pushing straight out, not pushing down. But let's talk about a few things we can fix to help make that even faster. Let's go ahead and get into about our second stroke so we can start there. So again, getting nice and high, pushing out, that's really good right there. Her eyes are down, she's getting her eyes low. I'd like the eyes to get a little bit further down because right now she's still looking kind of forward, keeping the head up. So let's finish that, because when she keeps the head even just minutely forward, just like this, it's keeping those hips from following through on the kick. And we want to get the head down, because once the head gets out of the way, the hips can push through, come up just a little bit higher towards the surface. And most really good breaststrokers, you'll see the hips break the surface at the end of the kick. And hers are going to stay just under the surface the whole time, because she's just not getting the head quite low enough. See how her eyes are still, your eyes are a little forward, Hannah? Got to get those eyes down. Let's get to a position where we can actually, yeah, see. Your head's low, fairly low. This is better than most kids. But you see you're still looking there. And what I want to do is get those eyes more here. More like our streamline when we're doing an actual streamline off the wall. And what that'll do is that'll allow these hips to rise up to that water level as you finish your kick. And that'll give you a lot more boost on the kick. You know, because one of the things you do really well, watch this, you know, your hips come forward, watch your hips drive back into the kick. See how you drive those hips back? That's really good. And what we want to do by getting the head lower is allow those hips more range of motion, which means more power into that kick. So getting this head lower, getting the eyes further back. Remember, look at the bottom half of your vision. Get that chin a little more tucked on that press. And you'll get a lot more out of that kick. But you can see, unlike most kids her age who are doing this on her breaststroke, if you just draw a line through her body, you can see she's just following the line. She comes up, she comes down, perfect. That's that skipping stone breaststroke. Now, like I said, she's sitting a little low in the water, but that's because she's keeping that head up. If we get that head down further on that recovery and longer into the recovery, it'll help get the hips up higher. And once the hips get up higher, she's going to be on top of the water. Really good job getting the head down as she's going to the flags. I've noticed in practice, sometimes she'll keep her head up as she's watching the wall, but she does a really good job on this of continuing to get her head down each stroke. So that's really good, Hannah. Going into the turn. And see how your shoulders are twisting and your upper body's twisting. You're trying to lead with the shoulders. And what you should do is just keep the shoulders underwater and just bring those feet underneath you and bring those knees underneath you. Don't worry about throwing your upper body back or twisting or cartwheeling. Don't worry about any of that. Just get the knees and legs directly underneath you, as tight to your body as you can, and then bring the feet to the wall. And the upper body will follow them. It has to. There's nowhere else for it to go. But once she pushes off, I mean, that's really good positioning. This is something we've been talking about and working a lot on, this glide, just making sure she has a really good glide. I mean, she's making it all the way to the flags. Here's the flags before she even takes her dolphin kick. Okay, now one thing I did notice is, Hannah, we're too much upper body motion on this dolphin kick. We got a real nice dolphin kick in back, but you saw the upper body kind of move. Let's go back just a little bit so you can kind of see the upper body just a little bit too much movement on that upper body. We need to keep the upper body still and keep it pointed in the right direction. Really good pull. Head's up though. We got to keep that head down. We want to keep those eyes down, that chin tucked, everything nice and tight. And we're rushing. Remember, the most important glide of breaststroke, the most important part of your breaststroke pullout is the middle glide, is this glide. This should be the longest glide, with your hands pressed against your thighs, your elbows and arms pressed against your side, and your head looking straight down. This is the longest glide of the breaststroke. And you're going right into your sweep and your kick. So we need to get a lot more out of that second glide, because that's the glide, and that's the part of the streamline that distinguishes the top breaststrokers from the other breaststrokers. And people with a really, really effective middle glide, they're the ones that dominate the underwaters on this stroke. Now on these, I can't tell if she's getting tired, but see, she's not getting the elbows quite as high as she was. So you're going to see her push. Instead of with a straight arm, she's going to have kind of a bent arm. We got to avoid this, especially when we get tired, Hannah. Because when you're pushing with the elbows lower than the hands, instead of in line with the hands, instead of pushing through the water, you're now plowing through the water. Because all the water is now catching on those forearms. So you're actually pushing back through all this water instead of cutting through it. Yeah, we're seeing it there on that second lap. Didn't see it so much the first lap. You're doing a good job, and that might be because we were rushing through this and you're getting fatigued, but that shows us where your stroke breaks down a little bit. So make sure you're still getting up as high, getting the elbows up in line with the hands, and not letting the hands get higher than the elbows as we push forward. But still, seeing a lot of great things with your breaststroke. We'll keep working on these. We'll keep working on those turns and those pullouts, and really keep working on that head position. That's something we're focusing on a lot right now, butterfly and breaststroke. And so getting that head down a little lower, that's going to make a big impact on this breaststroke. But I like a lot of what I see, and I like a lot of what I'm seeing on that recovery and on that shrug and how high you're getting in the water. Doing a really good job with that. So I will see you tonight at practice.